Howdy folks, Matt here with Shady Grove Ranch School of Stewardship videos. We're going to talk about feed conversion in the brooder house today. What does that mean? Well, feed conversion is, let's just say, if you fed 12 pounds of feed to this little broiler chick right there, and after you process him, you get a carcass weight of 4 pounds. You divide that 12 pounds of feed by the 4 pounds of carcass, and you have the number 3. 3 is your feed conversion. That is that's your main cost of raising a meat chicken or a laying hen for that matter. Now, what we got here, so that in order for you to get feed conversion, a good one, you have to get all that feed into the broiler, into the chicken. Look at all this feed that's on the ground right here. That's not good. That means they're spilling. So these birdies are almost a week old, and they're getting big enough that, as you can see, they're leaning down quite a bit. In fact, they're even able to sit down and eat at the same time. That's a bad thing. What that does is it makes their legs not as strong. Can even, I believe, lead to arthritis. So we need lots of exercise, but also, besides the chronic issues that can develop in your chicken, it also makes them kick a lot of feed out onto the ground and waste it. So the way we're combating this in our brooder house is we're suspending our feed lines with these little bungee cords. So you can see here, these chickies are having to stand up while they eat. Now that's a little bit too high, actually. We're gonna lower that just a touch. Don't want to squish anybody underneath there. Watch out there, birdies. We like these drop lines in our feed lines to, well, not have to walk around with 15 bags a day of feeding. I got Danny installing our little 9-inch bungee cords here. We can buy a box of 9-inch bungee cords from Amazon for about 50 bucks. MYT products or something like that. Yeah, mytproducts.com. There it is. So once we have all these installed, we can come back now with our little homemade adjusters. Lift that up just a little bit, give a little bit of height off the ground, and those birdies should stop wasting so much feed. They start kicking feed out, if you're growing them fast, they start kicking feed out around day 5 or 6 or so. So that's the time that you need to have all these installed and raised up. Well, just as a side note, if you're raising a broiler, a Cornish cross broiler, you ought to have a feed conversion of around 2.5. If you have much more, check for feed spillage at every stage of your production, brooder house, but also in the field. If your birdies are kicking out feed, especially when the birds are bigger, they can kick out an awful lot of feed onto the ground, and it just is very expensive fertilizer. Very expensive. There's a lot cheaper ways to do that in the field. So cycle all that feed through your chicken. Your laying hens, similarly, they should be eating, from 0 to 18 weeks. When they give you your first egg, you ought to be, I think it's around 12 pounds of feed. Okay, if you're in that 20 range, they are wasting almost half of it. So stop it. All right, your price of your first egg or your meat chicken just almost doubled if you're wasting that much feed. Thanks for watching. This is Matt, Shady Grove Ranch, School of Stewardship. Talk to you later.